Imagine scrolling through TikTok and stumbling upon a video that flips your perception of luxury upside down. A factory worker in China casually showcases a Louis Vuitton bag, detailing its production process. The caption, "Made in China, sold in Paris. This isn't a parody. It's a revelation." These videos have gone viral, amassing millions of views and sparking debates across social media platforms. Users express shock, disbelief, and even betrayal. After all, the allure of luxury brands like Louis Vuitton has always been their exclusivity and European craftsmanship. Discovering that these products might be mass-produced in Chinese factories challenges that narrative. But why now? Why are these factory workers choosing to expose these secrets? Some speculate it's a response to the ongoing trade tensions between the US and China, with tariffs impacting Chinese exports. By revealing their role in producing luxury goods, these workers highlight China's integral position in global manufacturing. Others believe it's a strategic move to tap into the direct-to-consumer market. By showcasing their capabilities, these factories can attract customers who desire luxury quality without the hefty price tag.
Who's the Chinese supplier behind Under Armour? Shenzhou International.
Nike shoes from China to your country?
Who are the suppliers behind Salomon, Timberland, New Balance, Adidas, Nike, la 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 la? First, Baocheng Factory.
It's a bold play, challenging the traditional luxury market dynamics. Regardless of the motive, the impact is undeniable. Consumers are questioning the authenticity of their luxury purchases, and brands are scrambling to control the narrative. The veil has been lifted, and the world is watching. For decades, luxury brands have built their reputations on the pillars of exclusivity, craftsmanship, and heritage. Louis Vuitton, in particular, has emphasized its French roots, with marketing campaigns showcasing artisans meticulously crafting each piece. The Made in France label became synonymous with quality and prestige. However, the recent TikTok revelations have cast doubt on this narrative. If these products are being manufactured in Chinese factories, what does that say about the brand's commitment to craftsmanship? Is the Made in France label merely a marketing tactic, masking the true origins of the products? This isn't just about geography, it's about trust. Consumers invest in luxury goods not just for the product itself, but for the story it tells. Discovering that the narrative might be fabricated can feel like a betrayal. It's akin to finding out your favorite artist doesn't write their own songs. Moreover, the price disparity becomes glaring.
For decades, we have been conditioned to believe that China is just one giant sweatshop pumping out crap while we are the sophisticated, high-end innovators. And it turns out China has just been patiently waiting for us to be completely dependent upon their manufacturers. They have been mastering every technology, absorbing every industry, and then building an empire that doesn't need us half as much as we need them.
If a bag costs $15 to produce, but sells for $1,500, consumers begin to question the value proposition. Is the brand worth the markup, or are they simply paying for a logo? Brands now face the challenge of rebuilding trust. Transparency becomes crucial. Consumers demand to know where their products come from and how they're made. In an age of information, secrets are hard to keep, and the luxury market must adapt or risk losing its allure. In response to the viral videos, Louis Vuitton has taken legal action against certain Chinese manufacturers, accusing them of breaching confidentiality agreements and exposing trade secrets. The brand argues that these disclosures harm their reputation and provide counterfeiters with the information needed to produce knockoffs. However, this legal approach has its pitfalls. By pursuing lawsuits, Louis Vuitton inadvertently acknowledges the validity of the claims. It's a delicate balancing act, defending intellectual property without drawing more attention to the controversy. Furthermore, the global nature of the internet complicates enforcement. Even if certain videos are taken down, others quickly replace them.
The battlefield is TikTok. It is flooded with such factory videos. Chinese suppliers are reaching out to American customers directly.
The Streisand effect comes into play, where attempts to suppress information only amplify its reach. Brands must consider alternative strategies. Engaging in open dialogues with consumers, providing transparency reports, and showcasing ethical manufacturing practices can help rebuild trust. Litigation might protect intellectual property, but it doesn't address the underlying consumer concerns. In the court of public opinion, authenticity and transparency often outweigh legal victories. Brands must navigate this new landscape carefully, balancing legal rights with consumer expectations. For consumers, the revelations present a dilemma. Do they continue to support brands that might have misrepresented their products, or do they seek alternatives? Some argue that the quality remains unchanged, regardless of the manufacturing location. If the product meets expectations, does it matter where it's made? Others feel deceived. They invested in a narrative of exclusivity and craftsmanship, only to discover a different reality. Trust, once broken, is hard to restore. This situation also highlights the broader issue of brand perception versus reality. Marketing often sells a dream, but when the dream doesn't align with reality, disillusionment sets in.
Even though these brands brag about being made in Europe, the video claims that more than half of Louis Vuitton's bags are actually made in China.
Consumers become more skeptical, demanding transparency and authenticity. The rise of direct-to-consumer brands further complicates matters. These companies often offer similar quality products at lower prices, emphasizing transparency and ethical practices. As consumers become more informed, they might gravitate towards these alternatives, challenging the dominance of traditional luxury brands. Ultimately, the power lies with the consumer. Their choices will shape the future of the luxury market. Brands must listen, adapt, and evolve to meet these changing expectations. The controversy sheds light on the complexities of global supply chains. Many luxury brands outsource parts of their production to various countries, leveraging specialized skills and cost efficiencies. While the final assembly might occur in Europe, components often originate elsewhere. This practice isn't inherently deceptive. However, when brands emphasize a Made in France label without acknowledging the global nature of their production, it becomes misleading. Consumers deserve clarity about where and how their products are made. Moreover, the reliance on international manufacturing raises questions about labor practices and ethical standards.
It is chaotic. Take a look. People running in all directions, police officers and security guards.
Let's not pretend Louis Vuitton is the only brand outsourcing. The entire luxury industry has been playing this game for years, having products stitched up in one country, assembled in another, and labeled in a third. It's like passport fraud for handbags. These brands treat the truth like seasoning, sprinkle a little when needed, but don't overdo it. Most people never question the label Made in France. But now, we're realizing that's just where the zipper gets attached or the bag gets dusted before it hits the shelves. The real work? The cutting, the stitching, the manufacturing that's going down in China, Vietnam, and even India. And the crazy part is, some of those factories are producing at incredibly high standards. We're not talking about a dusty backroom with one light bulb swinging overhead. These are spotless facilities with robots and precision tools. So it's not about quality anymore, it's about honesty. Louis Vuitton built its brand on this French fantasy, and now people are waking up like, wait, I dropped 3 G's for a bag that had a layover in Paris. And here's where it gets messy. See, global supply chains make it super easy to dodge accountability. Brands can say, well, we assembled it in France, so technically we're not lying. But technically ain't cutting it anymore.
Asking you guys shall receive. You want a tutorial? I got you. So let's just click my link in my bio, and it's going to take you to my landing page. Just scroll down a little bit, and here you will find the spreadsheet. This is if you want my personalized help, and this is if you want anything added to the spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and click my spreadsheet. So here we have all of the vendors that I've compiled for you guys.
People want the whole truth. They want receipts, walkthroughs, transparency. The takeaway, consumers are smarter now. TikTok's exposing everything, and brands that still think they can hide behind pretty logos are about to get humbled. Now, let's talk about the top dog himself, Bernard Arnault, the big boss of LVMH. The man with a net worth so fat, his wallet needs its own security clearance. Bernard built LVMH into a luxury empire, stacking brands like Pokémon cards, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Fendi, you name it. He's been the puppet master behind the scenes for decades. But lately, the man's been catching smoke. Between the manufacturing scandal, declining sales, and now the internet dragging LV into the mud, Bernard's iron grip is starting to loosen. The dude said he was gonna stick around until 85. But at 76, word on the street is he might pull the plug early and dip out before the ship fully sinks. And don't think this is just about some old guy retiring. This could shift the entire luxury game. Bernard's been grooming his kids like a royal succession. It's giving Game of Thrones, but with handbags. And now, people are wondering, who's next?
Now, a statement has been released to the press, seemingly from a source close to Louis Vuitton. In their statement, the source close to the brand said, "Louis Vuitton want everyone to know that what these people are saying is completely false and untrue, and they want everyone to understand that every item LV releases is made under meticulously high standards."
Will they fix things or double down on the fake fancy marketing? Insiders are saying Bernard's already in damage control mode. He's out here hosting PR dinners, pushing We're Still luxury campaigns, and trying to sue anybody with a sewing machine and a TikTok account. But the public's not buying it. You can't just throw lawsuits at the truth. If Bernard steps down, the next generation better come in swinging with transparency, innovation, and real quality. Because at this point, if they don't change fast, this empire might collapse under the weight of its own ego. Here's the thing, Louis Vuitton getting exposed isn't just their problem. This is a warning shot for every luxury brand still hiding skeletons in their designer closets. Chanel, Hermes, Gucci, they're all looking real nervous right now. Because what's happening is bigger than just one brand. It's a luxury reckoning. People are waking up. They're questioning why a purse costs as much as a used car. And now that the Chinese manufacturers are dropping the seats, it's getting harder and harder for these brands to hide. This whole scandal has started pulling back the curtain on how the luxury game really works. You slap a name on a product, inflate the price by 10,000%, and call it exclusive.
Do you know that more than 80% of the luxury leather products, like handbags, purses, and shoes of Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Gucci, Coach, Prada, you name it, most of them are made in China?
But it's not exclusive, it's just expensive. And when people figure out that their $3,000 purse was made for $15 in a Guangdong factory, that brand loyalty starts evaporating real quick. And what do brands do when they're panicking? They raise prices. Because if people start questioning value, they try to double down on the illusion. Like, it's even more expensive now, it must be exclusive. Meanwhile, customers are standing at the register like, why did this go up to $100 since last week? This isn't just about Louis Vuitton. This is the beginning of a luxury market shake-up. The old rules don't apply anymore. The new rule, show your receipts or lose your status. Because in a world where TikTok exposes billion-dollar secrets in 30 seconds, the truth is more valuable than any logo. So, what now? Is Louis Vuitton over? Are luxury brands done for? Not exactly. But things will never be the same. The veil's been lifted, and we're seeing the game for what it really is. Luxury used to mean something. Craftsmanship, heritage, quality. Now it means markup, marketing, and manipulation.
It's not just calling them out, they're showing the world exactly where your $1,000 handbag or your $100 leggings are really being made. They're now offering you the same exact stuff, no middleman, no markup. In a bold move that seems more like economic warfare than manufacturing, Chinese workers are lifting the lid on a billion-dollar illusion.
That doesn't sit right with a generation raised on receipts, call-outs, and truth bombs going viral in 0.2 seconds. Will people still buy Louis Vuitton? Of course, some folks don't care. For them, it's not about how the bag's made, it's about what the bag says. It says, I made it. And for that flex, they'll pay whatever. But for everyone else, the thinkers, the budget-conscious, the people who've been saving up for one special piece, this scandal hit different. Because it exposed the gap between what we thought we were buying and what we actually got.
China makes 80% of your designer bags.
Louis Vuitton has a choice now. Own up and evolve or keep pretending until the backlash becomes irreversible. Because here's the truth. The modern consumer wants honesty more than exclusivity. They want brands to respect their intelligence, not just their wallets. So, will LV rise from the ashes? Maybe. But only if they stop treating transparency like a dirty word. Because the next time a factory worker drops a video, it might not just shake up TikTok, it might shake the whole industry down to its overpriced souls. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments because this ain't just fashion anymore. It's a full-blown culture war.